How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner.
All right,
What's
Tim.
cracking?
Well, we were just talking about that 50s car show, but we're not going to talk about cars at all. Like, I was literally like the thing I asked you leading into this. Because there's a big one here at our fairgrounds, right?
Ooh, yeah, for sure.
The
The
state
back
fairground?
to the 50s.
Yeah, that
People
one.
come from states around. It's crazy. It gets huge. And it's
Yeah.
a good car show to go to. But I honestly like prefer a little bit more variety. It's the kind of car show my dad likes to go to, so we go to that stuff sometimes. But no, I didn't get out fishing last weekend, and no, fishing is more important than looking at old cars. I like old cars, but
right.
I can find a smaller car show and be content.
Right.
I gotta go fishing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're not going to talk about cars, not even in the random take. We're going to talk about games again. Will it just turn into Zelda Cast again? There's a really good chance of that, but I had to do it, and it's because I gotta get a lot off my chest. We're going to get into some stuff that's going on in my life too, and why I'm not playing these demos that we're going to talk about, or why they're downloaded and I haven't played them yet.
Sure.
So look forward to that in the random take. And then the fishing topic is, what's the deal with sharks? That's my best Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal with these sharks? Yeah, I can't do Seinfeld either. I just know the cadence. I can't.
Right. Yep. The voice, the voice, you can do the delivery, but the voice is just not
The voice is not there.
Without the voice, it's not the same.
All I thought was just like mixing that with like a line from Waterboy.
Okay.
Where it's just like, what's the deal with all these sharks? They got all those teeth and no toothbrush. That's talking about Mama Says.
Right.
That's why the gators are grumpy.
But
that's
stupid. So funny.
Stupid.
Just because Jerry is like his own comedian, like he's a true real deal comedian, and like to have him just rip off a shitty joke like that is so funny.
Right.
Like I like the depth of it.
I think he did like that one time. And then everybody's just like, oh, yeah, he's the what's the deal guy. I think it's like a Darth Vader thing. Like where everybody says, Luke, I am your father. And then everybody goes, that's what he says. Meanwhile, he never actually said that. He just became the guy that says, Luke, I am your father.
Right. Yeah.
It's just one of those weird things.
Because he actually just says, I'm your father, right? Like as I don't even think he says.
I think it's a whole different, it's a big, long spiel.
Right.
And it's said differently. He says that he's his father somehow.
Right.
But it's not the whole Luke, I am your father, which is what everybody says.
Right. Yeah,
now James Earl Jones is saying, we have the meats. That one I don't screw up.
No. That one's too fresh. Okay, dude. Let's kick it off with some fishing news. And it's not really news, dude. Grab a drink, toast. This is year number 3, man. The official start of year number 3. Holy shit. The day after this drops is the 4th of July.
July.
America's birthday. Also, our anniversary on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. So I did the most American thing I thought I could do. And that was straight bourbon, man. Just
straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon.
Damn it.
What?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about it being American. This is from Tennessee.
Oh, well, cheers. This is second time then.
Tennessee whiskey. Second cheers, because the first one was French. I can't be like, happy birthday, America, and then drink some.
No. That was a toast to us.
You got peanut butter on your roof of your mouth.
That was a toast to us in 3 years, man. We're not gonna do our normal birthday episode this because you had too good of an idea. We couldn't pass it up. So now here's to America. Ooh. Happy birthday, everybody! Celebrate responsibly.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Whoa, your pole was way bigger than way bigger than mine.
You know, it wasn't bad, but I am thinking to myself, like, that's a first. I've never chased Hennessy with Jack Daniels. That was a little bit. It's spicy.
Yeah, that's a spicy mix.
Shoo. All right.
Well, yeah, so that was it. I just wanted to I didn't have anywhere to squeeze that in. And so I didn't grab any news. I just said like we're going to do a 3 years kind of news. Like that'll be the news for this time because we have a lot of ideas rolling into 3 years. We got production stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
New production. And you know what? We used to do the Newsy Boys all the time. We haven't done the Newsy Boys since we started doing the news. So,
nice.
Yeah. Oh, and everybody over here has an upper respiratory infection too. So that's this.
Oh.
Yeah, we're doing okay, but that's why I just ended up
good to hear.
Tried to do a voice and then choked on my
okay. All right then.
Okay. Newsy Boys can wait till next week. So anyways, 3 years, man. It's crazy to think about, right? What are you laughing at?
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I was just thinking about like the Newsy Boys, and I was like, this just in, communist fuckface drinks French cognac on America's birthday.
X3. Read all about it.
I couldn't even
Communist fuck.
Extra. Benedict Arnold traded. Just do that Newsy Boy, but just talk like just foul. Like they never did that shit back then.
Oh, but anyways, yeah, we've been adding some stuff. We have some.
That's the word I should have used. Blasphemy. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Blasphemous podcaster drinks cognac while saying happy birthday to America.
Nailed it, dude. Nailed it. So yeah, 3 years, man. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, dude, it is.
It doesn't
crazy
feel like it entirely, but I mean that means we're creeping towards 100 episodes now already. This is episode 72.
We also like kind of ironically started this while COVID was going on, and I say ironically because I'm sure a lot of podcasts popped up during COVID, but it's because they didn't have anything else to do.
Right.
Meanwhile, me and you were working the whole time, and I was out and about in the world.
Right.
Still.
Right.
Getting COVID, doing podcasts while I have COVID.
While you had COVID. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And we're still around. And I think a lot of those podcasts, they had nothing else to do. And so they just kind of stopped doing it.
Right. And
I can think of 3 that I listened to, and whether they were new or not, or new leading into COVID. And they just never came back.
Sure. Yeah. I've never really like listened to, not like hating. Obviously people are listening to our small time podcast.
Right.
I just never really listened to any small time podcasts because I find the majority of mine just by like Googling. So I found most of mine that were like already established. So I never really listened to any. I think everything I've listened to was established well before the pandemic, and the pandemic is what really blew them up, and that's why they're so big now. Yeah.
Like they were already on episode 100 and something at least, right? Like we're on 72 right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And some of these are like on like 300. They've been doing it for like 10 years.
Right.
Which is not 10. Well,
I know what you mean though.
Which podcast you are,
Right.
Rogan
depending on when you drop.
Multiple a week. So he's at like, he's just past 2,000 already.
Who's that?
Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay. Yep.
He's just past 2,000 episodes.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I know. And he's been doing it for just as long as some of these other podcasts that are only on like episode 300, 400,
Sure.
because they just go on a consistent basis. The one
Yep.
true crime one I listen to, Sword and Scale, I think they're like every other week like we are.
Okay.
So they've been like 10 years, and I think they're only on like 3 something.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. Well, they
that was
might be
a weird-
seasonal too. Like a seasonal thing is something that I've thought about too, because that's what I thought our videos were going to be at first, is like seasonal. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Where we'd
Yep.
be able to drop, 2-3 episodes every winter, spring, going
Okay.
into the fishing opener. And it's just hasn't
Sure.
worked out that way for us, unfortunately. But your whole family had a hard year last year, and the wind was rough for the little boat. And not to go back on any of that, but like, this is what we're
Right.
talking about. We're talking about our 3 years.
Yeah.
First year was COVID. Second year, you had some hard family stuff, and some, we didn't have great weather, including a giant fucking
Right.
drought. And
Yeah. And like we were ramping up to do all this stuff with all these plans, and like right when we decided to start everything, like really we're just like, we're gonna do this,
yeah,
is when my boat shit out, and then we're like, fuck,
right.
what do I
It
do
took a big
now?
hit. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that really fucked
took a big hit.
that threw a wrench in all the video stuff, but
Right.
we've still got the podcast going, and
Yeah, man. Yeah. Episode
Got-
72 today. It's a big one.
it is for sure.
Yeah. Like I feel good about that number. It's like, it's so, dude, it's close to 100. I mean, not to
It's,
put a lot on it, but it's close to 100.
I mean,
We'll,
it is,
one
close
more
to
year and we'll
100.
have 100 episodes.
and 72 is, that's like if you did that in months, 72 months is like a 6-year loan, right? Like, I feel like
yeah.
that number feels more substantial, like
right.
because there's like a different way of measuring things, and like,
Right.
I know 72 is out there someplace,
Right.
where I'm like, that's a number of like, that's an important landmark. You
Yeah.
made it to 72.
Like
Your
if you get
fucking
a
cars
if you get
pay
a
off.
yeah, if you get a car loan, that's when you pay it off, right?
Yeah,
Like,
if
you
you
better
went out
pay
to
it off,
6
otherwise
years.
the interest goes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yep.
Some
And
shit like
I
that.
don't want to bore anybody with the interest talk. I was gonna just be like, I know sometimes people are just like, you shouldn't go out to 6 years because you're paying more in interest than you should, and it's just like, well, yeah, but it gets the payment to where I want it. So
Right.
if they're making a little bit more money off of the
Off
interest,
of me, and I get my car that I need,
and I get
mean,
the payments that I'm comfortable with at a month, I guess I'm okay with them getting a little bit of extra money to
Right.
put me in a good spot.
Right.
I'm literally paying for them being okay with me paying off the loan a little bit longer.
Right.
Out. Like,
that's why it's
I'm
called
fine.
interest, right? Like
I'm
they're
fine
giving
with
me
it. Yeah,
money now
exactly. Yeah.
for the convenience, and I guess I owe them a convenience fee. It just happens
Yeah.
to be a 6-year convenience fee.
I've just never understood some of that logic where people come to you and they're just like, you could save a lot of money on interest if you did a shorter loan. Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
If I had the money to buy my house outright, I'd save a lot of money. We don't all have that luxury.
Right,
Thanks for
right.
the advice.
Right. Sweet advice. Sucks. Go somewhere else.
Your advice sucks. It's just rich people up in their ivory towers with millions, and they're just like, I don't even understand loans. I don't get it.
Why would you get a loan?
Why would you get a loan? Why don't you just ask your dad for a couple million? It doesn't.
So yeah, I guess that's it, man. I just wanted to talk about 3 years and kind of reflect a little bit. We could do a full episode, but we'll, we did that last time, and you brought up sharks, and I'm ready to talk sharks. But
Yeah,
better do housekeeping
yeah. I think
quick.
I think we did a good enough job touching on it. I don't even know if there's a full episode to be had because
Right. That's a good
we're
point. Keep going.
we're doing what we're doing,
Right.
and not much has changed. We have ideas,
Yep.
we have goals,
Yep.
and things have been progressing slower than we'd like.
Right.
And I think that's about as far as it goes. I don't know
Right.
if it even make an entertaining podcast because it'd just be like us going like,
It would be
yeah,
that.
I mean, we're trying hard.
Yeah. For sure, really, yeah. Like we have some production gear we haven't even put into play yet. We have ideas for um, the podcast that uh, we kind of got stuck behind a paywall thing. So I don't want to blast anything, but
Sure.
we got stuck behind a paywall. So we're trying to figure out a new way to collaborate since we don't see and talk with each other every day, but we got to get them down on a sheet that's going to stay there. So that way we can start going, okay, that's a good one. Maybe that'll take too long. That's a good one, but it's probably like a one-off thing. Maybe there's now a new idea, you know?
Yeah. I guess, I mean, that's like you said, not to put anybody on blast, but it is a good thing to almost say, like, how come, if anybody's just like, how come you haven't progressed a lot, and just be like, well, one of the reasons is a lot of our ideas were kind of held hostage.
Yeah.
So that does put a damper on things where you're just like, oh, every idea we had is just kind of sitting there waiting for us to give them money to get it back. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It was
That does
an
slow things down
unfortunate
a
thing I
little bit.
didn't prepare us properly for. And all of a sudden we got locked up and it's like, oh,
Not
shit.
your fault, man. I didn't foresee it coming. It just
I
sucks,
saw it coming, but I
especially-
didn't know it was going to lock the way that it did. And that's the problem. Like it
Right,
just, I should have read more, or I don't know what I could have done.
I
but
mean,
either
I
way,
always
we got
assumed, in a situation like that, it's more of a, from here on out, you'll have to pay if you want to go any further. Not everything that you've used when it was free is now
locked.
ours, and you have to pay to get it back.
Right. Yep. For sure.
So
it's pretty
anyways.
shady shit. But
yeah.
anyways, okay, let's get into housekeeping here. We got just a little bit of housekeeping with the bi-weekly thing that I wanted to, I don't know again, but every other week the podcast comes out. If you're listening to this, you probably already know, but if you're new, welcome. If you clicked on this because of Sharks and Zelda, then that's great. Thank you for clicking on this. We come out every other Monday. In the off week, there's a Wednesday drop and a Friday drop. We split the topics up and you can catch them on YouTube. So if you're not digging the full podcast and you just want to listen to the topics, cool, go over to the YouTube channels, and we're at Real AF TV. Remember, real like fish and reel. It's youtube.com/at Real AF TV. You can find us that way. It's the easiest and quickest way to do it. Or just go over to realaf.tv website. It'll show you everything, including our Patreon page. We do have Patreon. I want to put a call out because there are other ways to do like tips and shit like that. Venmo, PayPal, those come to mind right away. Is anybody down for that?
Ooh.
$1? You pay $1? Would you tip us $1 every week? I don't know. I'm just asking. $4? No, $2. That's $2 a month. That's all it is. One for every podcast. Would you do that? I don't know. If you would you leave a comment, or realaf.tv/contact. You can just email us, or our DMs are open. Instagram, Twitter.
That's right.
That's it.
What would I have to do for you to give us $2?
The reason why I even bring up the money thing is because it does help us with this. You'll hear in the latter half of this gaming podcast why and how money would help motivate this, and not motivate it, help fuel the podcast.
Right.
Because I'll bring that. I'll bring that up. I'm just going to put that down. Fuel podcast with cash.
Money makes the world go round.
Time is money.
Money.
Time is money.
Dude, that wasn't scripted.
Yeah.
We both just said time is money at the same time. Everybody gets it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly.
We put in a lot of time, and this isn't us begging for anything. We're just saying, like,
nope.
It would
I
help
hope it doesn't
out.
come off
It
like
would
that.
be appreciated. If anybody else is just like, I don't want to pay for anything, I just want to listen. Hey, glad you're here. I don't want anybody to be like, fuck these guys for asking money and then just clicking off. Nah, that's not what it is. It's just like, if you feel like helping us out, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like helping us out, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And even if you don't feel like helping out financially, but you want to figure out how to help, you hear it every time, everywhere. Leave reviews, leave comments, and subscribe. I mean,
exactly.
that's
You want to
it.
help us
If you
out
do
and
that,
not
that helps a
spend
ton.
any money? Click it. Tell your friends. Sit them down. Force their eyes open like a clockwork orange. Clockwork orange. You can't talk. I got the fucking Hennessy chased with Jack over here, making me go clockwork orange. You got, and then
Well,
whatever
at least you didn't
the
tell him
milk
to.
of the milk of the puppy. No, that's fucking Game of Thrones. What was it? Clockwork Orange. They drink some sort of weird milk that gets them all high, and then they go
Oh, that's right.
rape chicks or whatever. That's
Well, I was actually just gonna say that at least you didn't tell him to do the the double-ended dildo circle thing, and
I'm
then
not telling them to do any of it.
that's from Requiem for a Dream, not Clockwork Orange. I
Right.
was just thinking of
Yes.
another fucked up
No,
movie.
I was just gonna say, like, that's not that movie. I watched that movie. I actually I've seen so many movies that are so much farther beyond that these days, anyways. That movie, when I watched it, I was like, that's relatively tame. But then you got to think about what year it came out in, and you're just
Oh,
like, okay, I mean, it is messed up, but it's also clear that it's actors. It's nothing that makes you feel like you're watching something you shouldn't. In my opinion, it all feels like it's clearly staged and it's clearly acting. So
oh, sure.
I don't know. It's not one of those
I get what you
conveying
mean.
where you're like, oh, it's really messed up.
Right.
Anyways, yeah.
So if you're
I
listening to
keep
this
going
right
off
now
on
in the long
tangents.
form, this is the stuff that they don't hear over on the off week when we drop the YouTube video and we do
Oh,
the fishing topic and we drop the random take.
sure.
This is only on the long form podcast, just so you guys
Nice.
know. So if
Nice.
you're telling your friends about it, tell them to go over, tell them it's a podcast and you
Yeah.
get everything if you watch the full one. The other stuff is just broken out. This is all still, I'm going to keep it in housekeeping.
Or
You don't
listen to
get
the full one.
housekeeping,
Yeah, the full one is on audio versions too. If you're just trying to listen to it while
right?
some people whistle while they work. You talk about us, or you listen to us talking about whatever we're talking about the whole time. We got the
That's
whole
right.
shebang on there,
That's
the
right.
whole kit and caboodles.
Kitten caboodle. It's been a while since I heard that. That's why I laughed. Okay, let's get into
All
it.
right.
Let's get into sharks here. And the thing is we were serious when we started because what's the deal
Yeah.
with sharks, right? Like we were serious with that
Yeah,
because
really.
go ahead, please, you start because it
It's
was
so-
your thought. You were like, dude, I want to do sharks, and I was like,
I
think
do want to
get it.
do sharks because I was like, I just want to have a conversation about sharks because
Yeah.
I love fishing and I love fish, and the temperaments are like a big thing that we have with all our freshwater fish and even the saltwater fish. Like you see them catching all of it and stuff, but sharks are so unique from any of the other fish out there because they're just ridiculously aggressive,
Right.
and there is no other shark. Like I a lot of times
What do you
make references to fish as dogs.
Okay.
There is no fish that's closer to a dog than a shark.
Well,
If
why?
I drop a northern, if I drop a muskie, if I drop a walleye, I don't care what kind of fish it is. If it's laying on the floor of the boat and I grab its tail, it will do nothing but try to swim away. If you grab the tail of a shark, it will turn around and try to bite you.
and try to bite
It will say like, "Don't touch my tail," and try to bite. It's like a dog, where it's like, why is there that aggressiveness and sense of like where it is and what's touching it and how it will try to attack anything that is close to it, where other fish don't do that? And arguably, there are fish that are just as aggressive as a
Sure.
shark,
Yeah.
but there's no fish that's like that.
Or even more
And that-
aggressive, maybe. Like I think there's a
Right.
case to be made that barracuda are probably more aggressive than an aggressive shark, even.
Barracuda, maybe, but barracuda, like, the weird thing is even the stuff that they eat, like barracuda
Mhm.
know to like go for the shiny thing, get the live bait and stuff.
Mm.
And a shark, you can put a giant bloody chunk of meat on a hook and throw it in the water,
Yeah.
and that shark will just come and eat that giant chunk of meat.
Right. I
It
got
sees a big corpse of a whale.
opportunity.
It'll go up and grab a big mouthful of that thing. It will also, a great white, where you'll troll a seal like a fake
I
seal
love this. I love
behind
watching
a
this shit.
boat. Yeah, you'll troll it at like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that thing will
Cruising.
come from like, I don't know how many feet down, like 200-300 feet down,
Right.
full
Super
speed,
fucking far down.
and just blow up on that thing like you've never seen a fish blow up on anything, and it gets airborne. I mean, you're talking like
full
a
body
50,
out of the water.
yeah, you're talking about at least 1,000-pound fish. I don't know what they weigh, 1,500, 2,000 pound,
Right.
getting completely airborne and just annihilating whatever it just ate.
Yeah.
It's
fucking
nuts,
crazy.
the amount of like, and what they can do. And it's that same fish. I don't know. It's just crazy to me how aggressive they can be, and what they'll do with like how they'll keep going. There's stuff where I've seen where they
They'll
like
keep
they,
going.
yeah, they'll be like, there's some of the cages where they'll see like a diver in the cage, and the shark comes at the cage, and it'll legit keep going at the cage, like, I'm getting inside of that cage.
The determination.
And yeah,
like, it's crazy.
Other fish won't do that.
Sure.
They'll come up and they'll try if there's something in their way, or they literally won't even try to attack anything on the inside of a cage. They'll just be like, there's something on the inside of the cage. I'm sure you could do it like with a bass where you jig something and it's going to try to like go through. If it can get through, fine. If it hits anything, it's done.
Right.
It's not going to keep trying to swim through it.
It'll like bounce off of it essentially.
It's insane.
And think about a topwater hit with like you fish topwater. I'm sure you've fished topwater.
Sure.
Definitely,
sure.
I've watched a lot of topwater fishing. Like
I've never caught I've tried fishing muskies topwater, and I've never caught a muskie on topwater, but I've caught northerns trying to catch muskie topwater, and those hit it pretty hard.
Okay,
but they don't come flying out of the water like a shark does, because they don't go down as deep as they can and then come charging towards the surface. They charge from like, wherever they're at up. It's not that far.
Oh,
where these sharks,
they do that vertical charge like they believe the sharks do, right? Like you said, is like the sharks are basically on a vertical climb, where what you're saying, I think, is the northern is horizontal, swimming normal, and it's, I don't know, 8 feet down.
Yeah.
It will make like a 45 and go pop and hammer a topwater. It'll make like a 45-degree angle and swim up.
I mean, even if you were in deeper water and it had some time to swim up, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I really
either.
don't know. I don't think there's any fish that are deep. I just don't think it would happen in the lake. I don't think fish deep down for the most part would come try to smash further up. Although I have caught bass in like 20 feet of water with a topwater bait. I saw Al Linder talking about it one time, and I'm just like, I gotta try this. He's like walking the dog. It's like a perfectly calm day where it's like sunny and the water that I fish on is clear. So I'm popping it back and forth in like 20 feet of water. Yeah. And they were coming from the depths, coming up to hit it. But it wasn't like they were charging it from as far down as they could. They weren't gaining massive speed and then just flying out of the water. They were running up on it, hitting it. And I was like, I can't believe I'm catching topwater in 20 feet. But it wasn't like a shark's blow up.
Right. Which is next level. Yeah. Like if you haven't seen that shit, you need to just go Google it, because if you haven't seen a shark, if you haven't seen a great white blow up a fake seal out of the water, you're fucking missing out on life.
I'm telling you, could you imagine seeing that in real life? Like seeing
it my God, no.
on camera is insane, but to see it in real life, you're basically seeing, how long are those fish? They're like 20 feet, aren't they?
Oh, like great white?
The big great whites are like 20 feet long, aren't they? Yeah. Something around there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you're close.
You're seeing about the equivalent of like a good size walleye boat that wasn't there at one point, just come flying out of the water. You're just like, what the hell?
What the fuck, dude?
Damn, man. Did you see that?
So all that topwater blow up talk is Shark Week talk to me. Have you watched Shark Week? Would you get down on Shark Week? We're not going to just go into weird stuff like this, but I want to lead in a little bit, cuz I got some biology, but
I tell you what, when the Shark Week, I was never more excited for Shark Week than when they did the Shark Week Jackass crossover.
Yeah, dude.
And I felt so bad for Poopies. Like I
Oh
was just
my
like, dude, you
god.
can't do this. Because
No.
jumping the shark would have been fine. Because
Right.
okay, so if people for people that don't know,
Yeah,
Poopies
just
was one of
explain
the
it.
new cast members, and they were doing the jump in the shark like Fonzie does on the fucking Happy Days. Because
Yeah.
back in the day, he's on water skis and just jumps over a shark, and everything works out because it's a sitcom, not real life.
Not
So
really.
they decide, so they decide to like jump a wakeboard like off of a ramp over some sharks and land. Now, if Poopies would have landed, it would have been fine. He would have rode away. I think
I
there's
think so
still a
too, because he was
chance.
going fast enough, right? Like even if
He
they would have
got.
tried to bump him.
Did you see the underwater footage of that shark
Yeah.
that bit him?
Uh-huh.
That shark. They are so damn fast.
Oh my
That
god.
shark is a good like 100 feet away, and he hits the water, and that shark is on him like that. It just turns around and goes, just a fucking missile or
Yeah, you're right.
torpedo, I
I just
suppose.
think
We're
that it wouldn't
underwater.
have. I don't know. I just think they wouldn't have chased him if he would have
I
landed.
don't think so either. Even if he would have landed it, maybe they would have sawed the board, but they would have realized what it was, not food,
Right.
where he
Right.
landed in the water and kind of flailed right away. Like he landed in the water and did what you do when you land in the water. You like splash your hands, and his
Right.
hand got bit.
Yeah.
So he lands in the water, and a shark flies up on him and bites his hand really good, and it's not good. Like it
No.
took a long time for him to rehab, and last I
Yep.
heard, like he still doesn't have full mobility of his hand.
Yeah. I
Like
don't think
it
he
it
ever will.
severed some, yeah, it severed some tendons in there and really messed some stuff up.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. But all the stuff that they did up to it, basically the other part was because of what they were doing in the water, they basically created a feeding frenzy. So all the
Right.
sharks were already going nuts. They were
Right.
already on like high alert.
Yeah.
And when he hit the water, it was just like bad news
He
bears. And
became
then
part of the feeding frenzy. He
they
became
were
food.
so
I
far.
mean,
Did you hear how far away they were too?
what?
On that
The sharks?
on that bumpy boat ride, it was like 3 miles. They had to drive at like 30 miles an
Oh,
hour on that boat with him like
yeah.
holding his hand like
To get him back while he's bleeding. Yep.
over all
Yeah.
the fucking waves. Oh no.
Yeah. That would have
So
sucked
I feel
so
bad for
hard.
Poopies.
I
That guy
know.
is not
But yeah,
not
I
bright.
watched that.
I
I watched that for sure. Like that week was super.
yeah.
I liked that Shark Week. I watch it. I don't
Yeah,
have
it was so
I don't
so
have live
entertaining.
TV, so I don't get it all in one
Oh,
like, like
sure.
special event day or whatever, but I get it the next
Right.
day on Discovery Plus.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't think I watched it the day it came out, but I heard about it and I was like, "Shut up." Cuz both of us are big Jackass fans,
Right.
and I do like Shark Week, but a lot of it's just kind of like repeat stuff, It's like the
I know
same
they
shit they
keep
showed
doing
last year.
Megalodon like every year and it's all
Yeah,
just
oh,
rehashed bullshit.
Megalodon was huge. I know.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
I don't think he exists anymore. I have to say I don't think, because
Right.
the ocean is massive, and maybe there's a chance that he's out there and you can't see him, but something that big has got to be caught on radar or sonar or something
Yeah.
somewhere sometime.
Or would have
I
died
don't
and
know.
washed up. I mean,
Yeah,
there's just
and
like
right.
we knew that the colossal squid existed years and years and years before we caught it. Like we just recently saw a live colossal squid, basically.
Right.
But we've
That's why I'm
known
like
they've
there
existed forever
is
because they
so
just
much
wash up on
space.
shore.
Yeah, there is so much space, and I guess there is a chance that like if you have like one out there, it could still exist, but you'd still have to be breeding. It's
We're
not
right.
like
That's the
you could
thing.
just have one and it would live.
One.
You'd have to have multiple,
Right.
and then they'd have to have babies for it to continue on.
Right.
Even though heard that there's some sharks out there that are like 400 years old, but 400 years is
Oh.
nothing in the timeline.
Right. Yeah.
So
Because
yeah.
sharks have been around forever, like dinosaur type shit. Like sharks are
Right.
dinosaur type shit. But
Oh,
there's
hell
no
yeah.
way that if I'm with you. There's just no way that one would exist like that, still alive and
No.
all that stuff. Because I think maybe what you're talking about with the old sharks are those really cold water sharks. I feel like that's they're
Could be. Yeah, it was like a weird looking one that they said that
I think they're
it
cold
was
water.
not too long ago where they said that it's like
I didn't see any of
estimated
that.
it was like 394 years old, and
Jesus
it could have been a
Christ.
cold shark. It was a massive thing, but it looked it
Fucked up.
looked prehistoric, man.
Right.
The way it looked, like the look of its face. It was a big shark,
Oh yeah.
but it looked different. So
Okay.
yeah,
It could. I think it
but
might be one of those cold water ones.
sure. But
I'm
back to
not
your
sure.
whole shark thing, like
But
yeah,
anyway, yeah, Shark
I
Week.
I do enjoy Shark Week if I got nothing else going on. But most of the time they put it on like the middle of summer,
Right. I know.
and when I got stuff going on, like that's when I got, like I'm working and
Right.
everything else, and when I get free time, Shark Week is not my choice.
Right.
So just
Yeah.
just because
I know.
everything else trumps it.
Yep.
So
Yep. Nope. I'm with you. I like Shark Week a lot, but it's just hard to. I have a hard time
yeah. But
catching it.
I I should say, going back to last week's episode about like what are you watching?
Oh
Dude, Instagram and shit like that. It's like small clips. It's small, like when I get
yeah.
time, when I'm looking at stuff.
Right.
Like my feed is giving me these things. I'm learning about this stuff. I'm
Right.
seeing, because I follow these fishing pages,
Right.
I'm seeing these shark attacks, and I'm
Right.
seeing this taxman
Uh-huh.
shit. Have you seen that shark attack recently? Of that,
No.
it was on Nature is Metal, and I've seen it on other places.
Oh
There's a
no.
guy in the fucking Everglades, and when you catch a fish and you go to wash your hands
Oh fuck.
in the water, washes his hands in the water, does like one of these, and then like one of these with his hands,
No.
and the shark comes up and grabs his right hand,
Fuck.
and he tries to pull his hand back,
Yeah.
and the shark gives like one more tug, and he gets his hand free because he tries to grab onto the boat, but it does pull him overboard. When he reaches for, you can't see his hand, but when he reaches for the boat, he does leave like a blood smear as he like falls into the water.
Oh
And
my
you just hear his
God.
buddy being like, get him out of the water. And that's like where the video ends. And you're just
Holy
like, damn, dude.
fuck. That was a
Yeah.
shark
So
in the
that was
Everglades.
a shark, and yeah, it was like a small, I don't know, maybe
Like a bull
if I
shark.
had to
Probably.
guess, yeah, be looking at the size of the head that bit him, the mouth was maybe a little bit bigger than his hand. So if I
Okay.
had to guess, maybe like a 6-foot
Sure.
shark, like not huge,
Right.
but still, dude, a mouthful of
Fuck.
teeth is gonna suck any way
It's
you
gonna
look
suck
at it.
no matter what.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was big enough to like grab him by the hand and like give him one of these. And obviously, when you're just keeping yourself balanced enough to wash your hands, you're not ready for somebody to, somebody or
Fucking
something
start
to come
yanking
and grab
on
your
you.
hand and yank on you. Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm sure he made it worse as far as his hand went, that when it bit him, he tries to pull back right away.
Right.
you
Which
know?
is so hard to
So-
not to. That's
Oh,
just
obviously
a human
you're
reaction,
gonna.
right?
That's your whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Something grabs your hand, you go shit. You don't like, give it. Your
You
hand.
don't. You don't just
I
like
don't know
turn
what-
your hand over.
I don't
and
know
be
what.
like, Take
Yeah,
my hand,
I'm sure.
motherfucker."
It's what everybody would have done, unless you just
Oh,
would have
sure.
froze up for a second, where you just be like, oh, yeah. I don't know, man. It was gnarly. So I get that stuff. I get the taxman stuff, and I'm not going to get any of that stuff probably on Shark Week, because they like to do these like full long documentaries, like not shitting on Shark Week, but
No,
like
no,
you
no.
said,
But
it's like
I
we're
got
going to talk about Megalodon for an hour,
Right.
and I'm like, show me a 15-minute clip of a guy getting pulled overboard by a shark. Man. That's good
15
enough for me.
second clip.
Yeah, hit me. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I said it wrong. Hit me with that 15-second clip of that guy getting pulled overboard, and then another guy trying to reel in a tuna, and the big shark grabs that tuna while I'm pooping, dude. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I want to see that taxman shit. Yeah, and that's the one thing I said. Oh, we gotta bring up the taxman, because like I was listening, or I watch a lot of and I shouldn't say a lot, but I watch a decent amount of fishing shows, and it was probably 2 or 3 episodes they kept saying you got to pay the taxman sometimes, and I was like, yeah, I know, because fishing, like these fish are expensive, right? So you got to make sure that you're paying the taxman, because
right.
I mean that one fish just made you $600 if you don't pay the. And then I realized every time they said that, a shark was taking, the tail off the tuna or whatever, and I was just like,
yeah,
tax
you gotta pay the
man,
tax man.
I get it. The ocean's tax man.
You're right. I've seen some tax mans, man, where that have just been gnarly. I mean, our friend Tony's had a couple of like I haven't seen the videos. You just see like the fish he reels in is just like half a fish.
Oh
Just
shit.
been like the tax man got him, you know. But I saw one recently where it was like a smaller tuna, um, and it was one of those massive great whites we were talking about. And
Yeah.
the
Okay.
whole boat, there's like 10 people at the back of the boat. And they're like, get him up. And the giant great white comes and grabs him. And the whole boat just goes, oh shit.
Oh
Just
my
it's
god.
in unison. Everybody's like, whoa. Because I mean, you see it come up from underneath the boat. You're looking down, you just see it. I mean, just a massive great white comes swimming underneath the boat towards. It's gnarly. I should see if I can
That's fucking
find it
sweet.
and then send it to you too so you can see it.
Yeah.
This is random because I was talking about tuna. I know we're talking about sharks, but have you seen how a tuna can hit something that they drop into the surface and it'll sink, you know, and they see
Uh-huh.
that it's food? It's maybe, I don't know, 6 inches to a foot underneath the surface. They come up at full speed, turn, grab that food, and go back down, and they do not disturb the surface of the water. It does
What?
not move one bit. They come up full speed and the water
Holy
doesn't move. I
shit.
I don't get it. I don't know if it's
What
just
kind of hydrodynamic shit is that?
that's
Like,
what I'm thinking. Is it just them being that hydrodynamic? I also know that they don't have to flip like turn their tails as much. Like the tail
mm,
gets the speed going and
yeah,
then they can turn because those you ever seen on the tuna how they got like those little points all the way down?
they're back.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the tail on the dorsal or on
Yeah,
the tail, like
it's like
from
they
the
have
dorsal
18
fin
dorsal
to the
fins.
yeah, from the dorsal fin to the back.
Yeah.
Those are actually movable rudders, each one of them.
No.
The individually. Yeah, they can
What?
turn those. Yeah, they can turn with those.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Tunas are crazy too. Oh, uh-oh, we got into a tuna thing.
Uh-oh. Yep. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. Back to sharks. Back to sharks. Because I was about to take the bait for to pun intended on that one where I was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go, and then no, stop. Okay, let's get back to sharks. And by getting back to sharks, I mean like fish. They are fish. They are fish. It's for sure
Yes.
that they are fish. And
Yes.
here's the weird thing. Like this is why I wanted to say that they're fish. What other fish do you call by a different name? Do you know what I'm
Like
getting at?
every
Like we've been saying sharks, 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 sharks. Okay. But if you're going out to go sun fishing, you're just like, I'm gonna go pan fishing. I mean bass, okay.
right.
But
Yeah.
do
I
you
mean
okay, so
maybe
smallmouth,
sunfish might
largemouth.
be yeah, maybe sunfish might be the one where it's just because there's so many different breeds of sunfish that you do just say sunfish, but it's because you also can't really identify. But the rest
Yeah,
of them, you're
good
right.
point. Super
You
hard.
do call them what they are. You know,
But
I'm
yeah,
trying to
that's
catch
what I'm
some
saying because
largemouth bass. I'm trying to catch some smallmouth on the rivers.
right, right.
I'm trying to go for muskies. I'm trying to catch some pike. I'm trying to catch
Uh-huh.
some walleyes.
Right.
We don't just say fish. It's just you say shark, and there's like 100 different kinds of sharks.
Yeah, there's many
But
different
we,
kinds of shark. Right.
yeah,
But you know what
I
you
don't.
know what you're talking about. They're because dude, they're
Well,
go ahead.
maybe it's just from the outside looking in, though. You know, because if I were to just tell somebody I'm going to go fish, I say I'm going to go fishing because that's for every. I don't
Sure.
know. Like I'm just trying to talk. Like
No, I know. That's
if you lived down there and you fished for that, maybe you tell your buddies, you know, we're gonna go try to catch a mako. You
sure.
know, so
Sure.
maybe you do when you
But that's
live.
also its proper name again. Other than Sunny's, which was I guess a bad example on my part, but like it's a Mako. There's not like 800 other Makos. Or there okay, I no, I screwed that up. Mako is a shark. I
Right.
get what you're saying. You're going to say like we're going to go catch a Mako. Okay. But I think you made the point super clear of like shark is a broad term and you call them sharks. But if you were
That's true. Yeah, I get what you're saying, because they are fish, but we don't call them fish. Like when I say I'm going to
right,
go fishing, you would
right,
never say I'm going to go fishing and then say, and then it just be sharks.
and it'd just be
It's like
sharks. You would say, "I'm going
it's
fishing for sharks," or "I'm
I'm gonna
going
go.
shark fishing."
We're gonna try to catch a shark.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I never. Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Like when you think about it,
It's fucking
yeah,
weird to think about
we
that to
talk
me.
about sharks as sharks,
Right.
and all of them. It's
Yeah.
not when you say sharks, you just talk about sharks.
Yeah. And when you talk about fish in a lake, someone's going to ask you like, "Yeah, what kind of fish?
But yeah,
What
but
fish?"
maybe I don't know. The only thing, just like playing devil's advocate,
No, I
kind
want
of
to.
like
I want you to.
not
That's what
understanding it. Maybe it really is just us being naive to what
yeah,
sharks are. You
sure.
know, because I
Sure.
just picture not picking on the ladies, but I just picture some girl who's never been out fishing. If we go catch fish, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, look at all these fish!" Like every fish. Look at that fish. That's a big fish. Every fish was just gonna be called a
Would just be
fish.
called a fish. Sure.
So
Sure.
maybe if you're where sharks are, you call sharks by their name, but that's
Maybe.
only something like when you get to like the coast of Florida,
Right.
where if you, or like Australia,
Right.
you just be like, "Are there any sharks down there?" They just be like, "Shit, the sharks.
Course the
What kind of
sharks.
sharks? Of course,
There's fucking tons
it's
of fish in the
Australia,
ocean. You're like, yeah, but I asked about sharks, and they're like, yeah, fish.
mate. Sharks." So, just like give you like the response like you're just an idiot and just like,
Right.
"Oh, I guess. Sorry."
Uh, okay, that's me being naive. I get it. But yeah. So the reason, again, back to the thing about fish is because that whole name thing about the fish is just like we call them sharks, not fish. They are fish. Um, I even read an article that was like, "Are sharks mammals?" And I was like, "See, people are fucking confused. We call them sharks
Yes,
so much. You
I
don't
know.
call it a great white fish shark. You don't call it a
Right.
great white
Yes.
shark. Like a
That I
muskie.
think.
You do call it a muskie. But if
Right.
someone asks what's a muskie, you'd be like, a fish. If
Right.
you were just saying great white and someone was like, what's a great white? You'd be like, a shark.
Right. Yep. A shark. Yeah, dude, I
Right.
totally get it. I do know the answer, and I don't even have to think twice about like, are sharks mammals? And that one's easy to decipher. First, they have gills, and mammals breathe air.
Right. So
So
right
that's
away.
one thing. But so they're, the other ones are completely different. They have to go up, they have to get their air, they go back down. But I also know, because do you know what the biggest fish in the world is? This
Oh,
one, because
the
people
whale
have
shark.
that. Yes,
The
this
whale
one,
shark.
because people do have that distinction where they have it hard to tell the difference. Like they don't know the difference between the two. A lot of
Yeah.
times people are like blue whale, and it's like, no, the blue whale is a mammal. The
Right.
whale shark is a fish.
Right. And a
So even
name
though
whale
the blue
shark
whale
makes
is
it
way bigger than a whale shark,
right.
it's not, because the whale is a mammal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
the
it's
whale
the
shark
oh, go
is
ahead.
super, like, it's built like a whale. So then you get into sharks that are
Right.
completely different than any of the other little
Yeah.
dog, I'm going to bite your hand sharks out
Right.
there.
Because a whale shark
You have
doesn't
a,
have a mouth full of teeth and aggressively eat other
right.
dead fish
Yeah.
or other
No,
fish.
I think it eats krill just like the
Yeah.
other,
It's
or maybe
almost
small,
like
like bait fish, where it just opens up
yep.
and grabs a whole bunch of them, but it's not.
It
It's
eats
not out
almost
there
like a whale.
inhaling other small fish. Yeah, exactly. It does eat like a whale. I mean, hence the name whale shark.
Probably.
Confusing
Yeah.
everybody even more, because it's
Right.
like, is it a whale? I don't know. But no, it has gills, so that's completely different. But even I know that there are some differences between certain fish and stuff, but like every freshwater fish that we have around here,
Mhm.
um, except for catfish, I suppose, which are a
Mhm.
little bit more like sharks as far as
Right.
like their skin and stuff. Oh,
Right.
and sturgeon, I guess, are a little bit different too. But you have like the gill plates,
Right.
where
Yep.
it's a plate and you lift it up and you can see all their gills underneath there lined up.
Right.
Where a shark has multiple slits that just kind of like open up, like,
Are just like part of its body. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's
Right.
weird.
That's one
It's
of the
weird
big
shit.
distinctions that make a shark is because it's got those like gills built into it. I think that's part of why I want to catch a sturgeon so much too. There's something
Oh, sure,
to um I I I think it's just like my knowledge of sharks and stuff like that is bringing the sturgeon up to the top of my list of things to catch because it has this shark-like quality to it. I think
oh, it
those
does.
built-in gills, those gill slits in the body instead of having a gill
Yeah,
plate, like you said, it brings it to a prehistoric time. Like it existed
sure,
a long time ago because that's how gills originally started, or something like that. There's just something in my
sure.
brain that's meshing it all
Yeah,
together and making me go like, that's kind of a freshwater
right.
shark, but not
Well,
totally.
it's
But
totally
it's
it's
old.
weird too when you say that. Like, I didn't even think about it before, but when you think about, like, there's been cartoons and there's been like The Thing, and you have multiple different iterations of, like, different sci-fi creatures that are
Mm-hmm.
like humanoid, but
Mm-hmm.
then they can breathe underwater, and they
Mm-hmm.
always have gill like a shark. They never have a gill plate like our fish.
I never thought about that, but you're right. You can
It's
see
weird.
the gills. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
And maybe that's just because, like, an animation thing.
Right,
Maybe it's
because you
just
want to be able to
way
see the
easier to
gills
just make
clearly.
slits in the skin.
Right.
But it's still crazy when you think about it. You're just
It
like, oh
is.
no, everybody, sharks are so well known that they even want people to look kind of sharkish a little bit. Like, they always have like sharp teeth and shit, and it's like,
Yeah,
bass are also like big time predators out there, and they have gill plates and just giant mouths.
right.
We should make a cartoon like that,
Yeah.
where it's like a person that is a fish, but then like when they transform into the fish, they just have a giant mouth and they just inhale stuff whole.
uh,
I don't know what the premise is or the storyline at all.
no,
But we got our
but
lead
start
character, and now
there.
we build off of that. Just
That's
Big
how all
Mouth
good shows are
Billy.
made.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a character, and you're just like, well, what's he look like? Well, I don't know. What's the flavor of the month? This is a big fish today.
Big fish.
Oh man.
So sharks, and I didn't look into sturgeon, but now you really got me curious about it and stuff like that because I wonder if they fit into this. But so the reason why a shark is a shark, I guess, but it's a fish, right? It's a fish. Don't
Hmm.
get it wrong. I'm going to say it again. It's a fish, but
It's a
it's a
fish.
subclass called an elasmobranch.
It's a
That
sweet name.
I know. So
We got our lead character's name.
name elasmobranch.
The name is Branch. Elasmo Branch.
Eats the motherfucker he's talking to. So this goes back to other things that we've talked about in the past with the podcast. Sharks are
Mhm.
mostly made of cartilage. And you know that you remember dissecting one?
I do, dude. I'll never forget that smell.
That formaldehyde preserved. Oh my God. You
Formaldehyde
can't get it out of your
preserved
head.
fish. No, I remember feeling it for the first time too, just being like, "Whoa, dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy." The way its skin feels.
Feels weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because sharks got that opposite direction skin on them.
yeah.
That
It's
where you
like
pet it one way and it's smooth and it's rough on
yeah,
the other.
it's like those pillows that have a picture on the sequins. It's like one way is
Right.
like shoop, and the other day is just smooth as
You rub it this
butter.
way, it has spots, and you rub it that way, and it has a picture of Dwayne the Rock Johnson on it.
Yeah, Exactly. That's what everybody wants. You just sometimes I got to take a nap and I just want just a regular shiny pillow. And then other days I need to cuddle with the rock.
So, okay, they're made of cartilage. They're made of cartilage. They have that weird skin, but that's what the elasmo branch is. It's that made of cartilage thing and that different
Okay.
skin. So, not all of them have the reverse skin thing like sharks do, but it goes all the
Okay.
way back to a thing that I know we asked ourselves before because we've talked about it in the fishing news before. Are
Yeah.
rays fish? We asked ourselves, like,
Yes.
is a ray a fish? It is. It's a fucking
Well,
elasmo branch,
yeah.
dude.
I thought that we also got confirmation on that a different episode
Did we?
when
I believe
wasn't it like the world record for like largest freshwater fish was broken or whatever?
right.
And it was a ray.
A ray. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
Okay.
when I think we started. I don't know if it was that specifically, but I think we took that at face value and said that was it. And
Right. They say it's a fish. If it's breaking
Right.
fish records, it's got to be a fish. But yeah, we never looked into it more.
right.
But that
And now
makes
it can-
sense. So
Now I can confirm it on the shark
and
episode.
that
It's like,
and
yeah.
just what you said, definitely like I never thought about it, but I suppose like that's majority cartilage and some muscle that makes it like flap. That's why it feels so damn weird.
Right.
Rays have got to be like the weirdest freaking thing out there. Like as far as it feels, it's just like this. It's like squishy, but it's solid, and
I
like
know.
you're just like,
It's fucking crazy, dude.
I know what that is. Squishy
Right.
but solid. I got
Squishy
one of
but
these
solid,
right
and you
here.
just touch your nose. But yeah, no, that's actually a really good point that you make about using your nose, though, because you look at
I'm glad
a
that you
skull.
said use your nose.
What?
After anybody's listening to the audio, not watching the video.
Oh,
I'm just like,
that's
squishy
right.
but solid. I got one of these right here, and I'm touching my nose, but I didn't say nose, and then just like anybody's listening, just like, what's he doing? He got his dick out, or what? So I'm glad you said nose. I don't know if anybody else thought about it, but as soon as I said
right
it, and
away,
then you
yeah.
said nose, I'm like, damn, dude. I heard it back, and I was like,
Oh, right. I didn't say it.
glad you clarified nose right away. Yep, we're totally talking about noses. No weird stuff going on over here. Oh.
I got all these tokens.
Oh.
that one's just a cut for us there, you guys.
Yeah, that's a little inside joke where we got weird before the podcast started. And since this is a vision podcast, that conversation is just gonna for another time. I'm sure it'll be out in the we'll put it out there someplace at some
it'll
time.
make somewhere, but not right now.
Even though, not right now, not here.
Okay, so back to the cartilage and the rays, because yes, okay, they're rays, they're made out of cartilage. Sharks are made out of cartilage, dude. Even apparently their fucking teeth are cartilage. And I'm like, what? So going back to your nose, you know, a human skull, look at a human skull. It's just a hole in the face. That quote unquote bone in your nose, that's cartilage.
Okay.
Apparently shark teeth are cartilage, but they have a ton of calcium in them. So like older sharks can deposit calcium too, and they can start to develop what looks like a skeleton. No bones. There are no fucking bones.
No bones. No bones at all in the shark.
Yeah.
Or just in the skull. No bones?
No bones, dude.
What?
What the fuck?
My mind is blown. That is something I didn't expect coming from
I didn't either. No bones.
No bones anywhere. So then why does shark fin soup exist? I suppose shark fin soup is because they didn't want to throw away the fins, but they did want to eat the rest of it.
Well, it's just like,
oh, now I gotta go. No, man, I'm gonna be up till like 4 a.m. Now I gotta go watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos on what like filleting a shark looks like. Oh man, I got so many questions.
I know. I really want to. I do too. I have a lot of questions there with that, because I know what a shark steak looks like.
Sure,
but like a bone, you know, think about it again. Your nose, you call it a bone, but it's not.
Right.
Look at your skull. Look at a human skull. That cartilage will go away. That is just cartilage in your nose. That makes your nose It's
Right.
not actually a bone. It's not hard enough to.
Hmm.
And of course, things can get preserved in the right conditions and all this other shit, right?
Right.
If you talk about fossilization and all that, but like that's a whole different topic. The point is
Yeah.
like I get what you're saying about the shark fin soup, because if you take a chicken carcass, like take a whole chicken, break it down,
Right.
eat
Yeah.
everything that you broke apart and take the remains and you throw it in a pot and you cook it down, all of
Like,
the like marrow and the nutrients that is stuck in the bone, it comes out. That has
yes.
to be happening to a shark fin
And then
though too.
you're making chicken stock, which
You
is
stop.
basically the base of soup,
Right.
which has got to be essentially what shark fin soup is you're just making
Right.
the base, and I'm sure you're throwing other things in there, and you're just kind
Mm-hmm.
of getting like what you said, like
Right.
you're getting that essence of whatever the fuck shark tastes like. I
Whatever
don't know,
the
cartilage. What does cartilage taste like?
I don't know, because if you see if you see a shark steak too, it looks
Yeah.
good. I mean, it looks
See, now here's another
normal.
question.
It looks like a
Like you
fish.
said, yeah, like you said, you're cooking. Marrow's delicious, is what I've been told. I haven't had the pleasure of eating it yet, but I know that when I
Mhm.
see it, I'm just like, ugh. And if everybody talks about it, and when you throw bones in the soup, like, you ever had bean ham soup where you put the whole ham bone in there?
Right.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's the fucking best.
I know that it's awesome. So, like, now I want to go down a rabbit hole too of like what it's like. What is all in cartilage? When you're
Right.
cooking that down,
That's
is
what
it
I'm
releasing
curious
flavors like
I didn't
bone
look that up.
marrow and stuff, or is all of cartilage? Can you cook it down where it literally dissolves like fat does, and it's just like the whole thing can be dissolved down,
Oh,
and then you're just left with the weird rough skin? And
I don't know. Good fucking
probably
question.
not. Maybe that's something like if you put it in a slow cooker. Oh my gosh, now I gotta go and check out. Has anybody ever
know,
slow
dude,
cooked a
right.
shark? Oh, or put it in a smoker? You ever put not trying to like shout out Krager because I don't have one and whatever, but like a Krager style grill.
Right.
I'm using that as a example because I know people have heard of these things.
And you can picture
you put
the
that
shape
on?
in your
Yeah.
head when you got
Can you
it
put
too.
that exactly? And can you
Yeah.
put that on there for like 8 hours and
Right.
it will melt down when you cook it at that when you
Just
cook it
pile
low
of
and slow?
delicious soft fat that you can
Oh man.
just shovel in.
And then you lift the top like 8 hours later, and it's just the grossest looking shit you ever seen, but it's delicious. It's just like a shark that's melted. All you
Just
got
a
left is like the
fucking melted
leathery
pile of
skin.
goo.
It's a fucking shark skin suit with goo. They're just like, oh, dude, you gotta try this shark goo though. It's so
I don't
good.
know. I don't
I
know.
don't know
Please, if
either.
you have any idea about how food and sharks work, please tell us. I just know people eat sharks. People
Yeah.
are safe to eat sharks. I read that you can't
Yeah.
eat the liver. Don't eat that fucking liver. There is something
Ooh.
really special about a shark's liver that I
Okay.
didn't dive down that. And here's why.
Sure.
I'm going to cut off real quick and I'm just going to go sidebar. Rays,
Yeah.
sharks.
To do it. Yeah.
Dude, the Real AFTV podcast can go on forever.
Well, it can because we're
Each
curious
species.
people. Yeah.
Each species. Right, because we're people.
We're curious, and we're just like we want to learn about stuff, so we could sit down and chat about things like, oh man. But yeah, now I
Right.
got to look into the liver too. I'm curious to see what that's all about. Like if
Like,
you're
why can't
breaking
you eat the
down,
liver?
what's up with that? It's filtering out the pollutants and stuff.
But the liver also
We're
helps
talking-
sharks swim. Like, it's part of their buoyancy system.
Oh.
So what the fuck, you know? Like, I'm just going, this is all just high level. This is me and you just kind of spitballing and talking sharks.
Right.
We're not getting into some real crazy dive shit. But, you know, motivated by some research and a lot of, you know, prior research knowledge that we have. But
right.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
At this point, I'm just ready for like some crazy ass answer. Yeah, it turns out that shark liver is actually 35% mylar. If you eat that mylar, it's
Totally
it's just like eating a balloon. Would you eat a balloon? I don't think so. Just like, okay, what?
Oh, okay. Is that where Mylar
Actually,
comes from? Dead
most
sharks.
of the mylar, most of the mylar comes from sharks. You probably didn't notice. I did. I'm a scientist. We put the mylar into the balloons. That's what everybody's going. Eventually, we're gonna run out of the mylar for the balloons, which is a big deal. But nobody has to worry about it because we're running out of helium. It's a whole nother thing. Don't worry about it. Oh, I'm ready for some kind of crazy ass thing like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just gonna be like they suck their own shit into the liver,
yeah,
and then and it makes them buoyant or
it
something.
makes them buoyant or something. So it's just like
Just
you could eat just pure shark shit if you end up eating the liver.
This is like, you know why people tell you not to eat raw shellfish, chock full of whatever the fuck that is, that you can't eat those shellfish. It's all up in that liver, so just don't. I'm a scientist.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, man.
Please leave a comment if our side rants of like laughing at ridiculous concepts is distracting to you, or not distracting, but like, do you believe us for a while? Because you shouldn't. We're laughing the whole time when we're making our ridiculous comments. I would love to know. Tim,
everything I said is 100% true. I am a scientist. Mylar is their Mylar encased shit-filled livers will kill you. Don't listen to Josh. This is all real.
This is all real. This is real facts. It's on the internet, isn't it? It's real.
You heard it here first. Josh recanted his statement. He said it's all facts.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Before we leave, we got to talk about some shark fucking, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, this shit totally blew my mind too. Is sharks lay eggs. Like, they have eggs, they lay eggs. They do egg and fish things. The eggs are fucking crazy, dude. There's like this one that looks like a corkscrew where the shark will literally like screw it into the wall. I'm like, what? There's one that looks like a slice of salmon. Like, it doesn't matter. They're weird looking. But why people think they're mammals is because a lot of sharks will give live birth.
Oh.
Like, they hatch the eggs inside their body.
And it's right. They hatch the eggs inside their body, which is inside of like a placenta-ish thing. Yeah. That's called the shark purse, correct?
The eggs are called a mermaid purse. Is like a common.
Well, because you got the shark.
But I think, okay, I didn't see that. I didn't see what you're saying, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought it's literally, it looks creepy. These small leathery pouches are the cast-off egg capsules of some sharks and their kin. Mm-hmm. Most fish release their eggs and sperm into the ocean, leaving survival of the offspring to chance.
Right.
But these ones, like, I think they, like you said, mermaid purses.
Yeah. So here's, I've
always heard them just called shark purses.
Shark purses, sure. That makes sense.
Mermaid purses is not what not the term I was used to. So
right. Yeah, because that's
also, what were you saying?
That's fucking weird. But to keep on exactly what you were saying, to go exactly with what you were saying is like, so most fish, we've talked about this before, most fish is like, here's some eggs, and then the other one comes and jizzes all over it and hope for the best. Sharks almost always go with internal fertilization, which is just a way to say the male parts go inside the female parts.
Right.
And so the eggs are fertilized and then they lay them. So like, do you get what I'm saying? That's the contrast.
Yeah, so it's like a human where the egg is getting fertilized, but instead of it growing in there, they're just like, this one's good.
Yep. but not all of them. Some of them will like you said, they'll live. The egg will stay
Damn,
inside
dude.
the mother the whole time in like a womb inside the shark purse, the shark egg,
Right.
and it will live in the egg. It will stay inside the egg. It will hatch in the egg, and then it will swim out of the mother.
How many ladies are listening to this being like, I'm just jealous of these lady sharks because they get the best part. And they're actually doing the deed, and then they're just dropping it off. They're not raising it and then pushing it out of a hole that's far too small for the baby to come out of. They're just like getting it out of there when it's small enough, and then it's growing up to a 20-foot shark where everybody's going, oh shit, on Instagram. They're not.
And it's Instagram famous just like that.
Just like that. Boom.
So let's do some fishing before we wrap up.
Okay.
Oh, no. I have to stay on because there's one of the crazy live birth sharks is a type.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
What were you
I
gonna
was just I was just reading more of it where like we were both kind of right. The shark purse or the mermaid purse is like how you said those eggs are fertilized and then they're left to develop in that purse. That's like their protective barrier.
Yeah.
Where they grow up to be, once they get big enough, then they pop out of that.
Yep.
So I'm kind of right when I was saying that it's like kind of like the placenta, like where they're growing
100%.
up inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
and also, and even more, that's
like.
what I was trying to get to with the point of if even more of what you're saying is like it is a placenta essentially when those ones that give live birth because it's sitting in that egg the whole time. It's sitting in the egg the whole time inside the mother, and it will develop and then it will hatch out of the egg and then it will swim out. Totally placenta-like. Yeah.
Now I wonder how they get their nutrients and stuff. Because now I'm thinking like if you did this in a situation where it was like the ocean where your baby was in water, I think that would almost work with a human, but it gets all its nourishment from what the mother intakes through an umbilical cord.
Dude, I read that.
So if you were able to X that part out of the equation, you'd probably be able to grow a baby just in a test tube, essentially. Isn't that what they do with the test tube babies?
I don't know, but yeah,
Weird.
I think that you can. I think it could be Hideo Kojima's last game, the fucking Death Stranding game.
Oh yes, I never played that. I still should find that game. Anyway, we could talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Maybe we talk about that next, actually, because I got some on that. We might get into that, anyways.
We'll see.
So it said that there were some sharks that even had umbilical cord like things. I think they're just attached to the mother. My understanding is think about an egg, right? Like a chicken egg.
Yeah. Yeah.
The chick isn't eating anything. The nutrients is the egg. And once it's eaten all the nutrients, it comes out of the egg. So I think that's probably what's happening with sharks. I didn't look at that.
That makes sense.
I'm just kind of doing the egg math.
That makes total sense. I mean, in a way, grosser way, that's basically like what a lot of the other bugs do too.
Sure.
Like flies lay their larva in some dead stuff for the larva to eat until it gets big enough. It gets big. The gnarly wasps will find a spider and then lay their eggs inside of
the spider,
and just to wait for the bees to grow up and eat their way out.
Yeah.
But the bugs are the gnarliest. I don't like bugs, and they're the gnarliest by far of Mother Nature. They do the most heinous, fucked up shit you could ever imagine.
Totally. We'll talk about bugs on different for fishing. Well, we kind of talked about it in Match the Hatch last time, but
yeah.
So quick on the birth thing. There's I had to bring this one to the podcast. This fucking blew my mind. So on one of these live birth sharks, there's a nurse shark where the pups, the shark pups inside the mother, they practice intrauterine cannibalism.
Does that mean they eat their brothers and sisters in there?
There shall only be one. Dude.
The strongest survives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom only wants one baby. And I'm hungry.
Isn't that fucking crazy, dude?
Dude, that's super gnarly.
These
And
sharks have one fucking.
It's literally got to be like whichever one decides, like, finally gets the need to eat the other one.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be whoever bites who first in a developmental stage.
Right.
One bite's got to be just completely
devastating.
Yes, that's the word. I was like, I knew it'd start with a D. For some reason, my brain's just being like destructive. I'm like, that's close. It works, but that's not it. But yeah, completely devastating. Where just one, they're just swimming next to each other, and they're like, "What up, bro? What up, bro? You know, nothing. Another day." Just like one day,
you're fucking dead now. It's fucking wild. So since it's a fishing podcast, I had to bring this up too quick, and then we'll end sharks and we'll go into the random take about what all the summer games shit that's going on, because I looked up some fishing. You can go shore fishing for sharks, which I was like, that's pretty gnarly. It's a pretty gnarly move.
You ever seen those fucking? They make launchers with fire extinguishers.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, like a potato gun or something almost.
Yeah, they'll get like a big rod and they'll put it in like a holder on the beach, and then they'll freeze a bait so it makes it like a tube, and then they'll put it in like a tube and use like you said, like a potato gun, just launch that bait as far out into the surf as they can.
That's kick-ass, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That is so cool. So the reason why I have to bring this up is because the 4th of July until Labor Day is like peak East Coast shore shark fishing.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I just thought, like, oh fuck yeah, dude, we're dropping until on the 3rd, and like, so shark fishing from shore is about to happen if you're from Massachusetts down to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Like, I don't know what, obviously, you know, we talk about the different water temperatures and what our fish prefer.
Right.
But in the winter, our fish go deep as well. And that's what happens in the ocean. Even though the water's not freezing, nowhere near freezing cold.
Right.
Right. You know,
it still changes.
On our shorelines, they go out deeper. Because I remember that from like when we tried to go tarpon fishing, and we've talked about that before on the pod too, where we went down there, me and my dad had nothing. We were just like, we really would like to catch tarpon, but we went in February. I think it was like around Valentine's Day. I feel like it was around then for some reason. And the guy was just like, we can't really catch any of those because they're all out really deep. They don't move in shallow until the summer. So it's like, I knew that like the fish moved in shallow. Right.
Yep.
Like the other fish do when it's warm. When it's colder, they go deep. So there's still smaller fish that were up shallow, plenty of fish up shallow, but for whatever reason, those big ones, they move deep. So I knew that about, I got that little bit of info. Obviously, I didn't look into it. And if you know something about shark fishing, let us know. Be like, oh, this one actually stays shallow all year round, so don't go swimming in this bay or you get your feet bit. You know, that's some good news to know.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, but I think that's a big reason why not only is it cold in our state, but why there's a lot of people that go and visit down there, because there's not as much stuff you got to worry about, because there are certain times a year where stuff gets gnarly. Like I have heard other people too, this is like a little sidebar, but where they're just like, don't go down there now, it's jellyfish season.
Oh, right.
Like, what? They're like, yeah, the waters are full of jellyfish, you can't even swim.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I'm just talking. I've heard these things. I don't know exactly when or where. Maybe you're fine all year round.
I've heard that too.
Florida.
Yeah.
But anyways, sorry.
No. That's it. That's it. Basically, I just. Oh,
okay.
The wire leader thing too. There, I want to say that too. Like with shark fishing, they were like, put a wire leader on, and I'm like, what? Of course.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned like, it's not just for their teeth, because remember, they have super weird skin, and I was like, oh, that's right. The rough skin could be enough, like, to screw up your fishing line with the rough skin,
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I would have never even second guessed it though. Those rows of razor sharp teeth and the way
Right.
they thrash when they grab a bait, like
Mm-hmm.
there's no fluorocarbon is your next best option, and there's no
No
fluorocarbon
way
that's going to
it's
stop
gonna
that.
hold
They're
up to
going to
that.
slay,
Yeah.
even if it's super tough, it's going to slowly cut at it. You get a wire. I mean, even certain wire can get snipped,
Right.
So
Yeah.
you got to have
Especially
some
with the
heavy
bite force
duty
of sharks,
shit.
right? Like they have a
Oh,
lot of
hell yeah.
pounds.
Yeah, they can bite hard.
Yeah. Good
So,
point.
yeah, so
Oh,
I never even thought about using anything but wire.
I didn't write this down, but I
But
just
wire.
remember reading it and thinking like, oh yeah, quick, like before we stop talking about this leader and go on to the next thing is I've said that like 100 times and we've been talking for like 20 minutes. I keep going, okay, just one more thing.
Yeah, I know. Happens.
Last thing, promise. Leader. It said, don't make the leader too long though, otherwise your long cast is going to get all fucking wonky. Like the leader
Oh,
doesn't cast
I could
right.
see
So
that.
what do you know? Like, is there anything that you have insight on that being like a musky fisher,
Well, they don't make real long leaders, so
Oh.
I don't know anything for sure, but I could see how that could become a problem where like it tangles up around itself or just gets weird, because I've had stuff like that too,
Oh,
where like you
okay.
want to have like the weights and the swivels and stuff be spaced properly. Otherwise,
Oh.
like if they're kind of close together, they can start like looping around each other and knotting up, where you have like
Oh.
a weight and a swivel and then like some leader material.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have them spaced properly, they can all get tangled up, and now all of a sudden everything's in one bunch. And
Oh.
when you were going like certain stuff, you're bobber fishing and you're trying to have a presentation that looks a little bit more stealthy because your weights are higher up, and then there's a good bit before the hook, all of a
Uh-huh.
sudden everything gets tangled up. Now you got this, you're not getting bit for a while, you reel it in and you're like, oh, my fucking weights are 2 inches away from my hook.
Right.
Of course I wasn't getting bit. It looks stupid as hell. I wouldn't eat that.
Right.
Just this weird clump of shit floating next to my bait.
Right.
The fish is like, I want to eat that leech, but I don't know what the hell that
I
shit
don't
is
know
floating
what
next to it.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense because it's all different, so it'll fly through the air. Like it's all different weights and shape and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Even as minimal as it is, it all looks like one tube to us, but when it's flying through the air, whole
right.
different game.
And with it being a wire too, I could see how like line kind of, the bait flies and the line kind of follows. I could see if your leader material is too long where it is actually like stiffer, where it
Mm.
almost be like there's a stick attached to it and it would just fly all stupid in the air, you know?
Yeah, I
So
can see what you're saying there. I can.
yeah. Yeah, so those are just a couple of things, but like I once upon a time I think I found like a leader in my dad's tackle box that was like 2 feet long. That's the longest leader I've ever seen. Where I
Oh,
was
that
like,
you've
damn,
ever.
dude,
Yep.
that
Okay.
thing's huge.
Right.
But now I don't use any metal. I don't
Oh,
use
okay.
any steel around here. I use fluorocarbon
Right.
because I'm just paranoid about the fish being able to see it. And I probably would use a steel leader if I was fishing dingier water. But at this point in time, not having
Right.
my own legit boat and not getting out there on a regular basis into other waters,
Right.
I don't, I feel like I can't get away with that stuff. So I don't
Right.
try.
Yep.
So
Shit, I forgot to do for the fishing topic.
it's okay.
Now that we're done with the fishing topic, let's jump over into the random take where we're going to talk about summer games, things that are going on. It's a whole thing. Don't worry, it's probably just going to turn into talking about Zelda. So here we go. Hit the break. Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here,
Yep.
coming to you to say we have a Patreon as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to 100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv, You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AF TV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize. What kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran on.
A lure. Yes.
A lure. Thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At
Yes.
the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure, but you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AF TV on.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes. Yeah, very true. If you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. realaf.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing random takes on the line 10,000 likes. If you are listening to this on Friday and you're not coming back to the Real AF TV podcast, but you're just finding this because it's probably got a Zelda thumbnail on it, then welcome. Like, subscribe, share.
What's up? That's right.
This is mostly a fishing podcast. This fishing is what motivated us, and then we do this random take thing in the back half. So you're actually catching the second half of the podcast.
Sure.
That's for you people who are catching this on a Friday on YouTube. But for those of you who have been here for the long haul, it is time to talk about gaming summer. I had to call an audible on this one, Tim.
Yeah, because I gotta say real quick, before we move on, I just not to cut you off or nothing.
No,
but
please.
Fishing is a big motivator, but I think our friendship and ability to talk about anything is why we're here.
You're right.
Not
Tim.
just fishing.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, 100%. The fact that we've always clicked. We've always had a great dynamic, and I've even said that before on the podcast, where I was like, just to prove that we can talk about anything for at least a half an hour, and then we go 45 minutes on it.
Right. We're just like, we'll see if we can do it. And then 45 minutes later, we're like, we should probably end the podcast. We can go for more.
Otherwise, we're just going to keep going. So we should probably stop.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. Thank you, Tim. That was good. So,
all right.
Okay. Game stuff. I said I was going to, in the beginning, I said I was going to get into some personal things a little bit before we get into this, because here's the thing.
Okay.
It's summer game season. Call it Summer Game Fest, whatever you want. That's actually like a presentation that happens now because E3 is probably dead.
Oh, sure.
So there are games overflowing with demos right now. Like there's just an overflow of demos since I am a official PC gamer now because my PS5 controller works on my PC and my PC can play most
Sure.
any game right now. Um,
Sure.
I'm officially a PC gamer as well.
Okay. Yep.
And Steam has the Next Fest thing, which just has demos after demo after demo after demo, and just fucking demos like crazy. So I have like 3 or 4 demos on my computer. I have 3 demos and a new game on my PS5. The new game is because everything goes on sale right now too. And so I've been waiting for this game to just go on sale and then to get it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is I wanted to play this game before Zelda came out because it seems kind of like Zelda-y. And
Okay.
now I have Zelda and I bought the game anyway. I'm like, fuck.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's
Which
probably going to
game are you
go on
talking about?
PlayStation Plus in like a week or something like that, or like in 3 months or something like that. And I could have just
Sure.
had it for free.
Okay.
But either way,
Which I
yeah.
are you like teasing something here? Or are we going to talk about what game are you talking about?
No, so we can go into it. I just wanted to say like this is
Okay.
my backlog only because of summer gaming, only because of Summer Games
Sure.
Fest, only because all this shit goes down in the summer. And so
Right.
these should be fairly short experiences. One of them isn't, but we'll get into that. And I bought a full game too in the middle of it, and it's called uh Chia, but it's like TCHAIA or something like that. But it's pronounced Chia,
Okay.
and it's about a little girl who explores these set of islands um over in the New Zealand area. They're like it's not New Zealand, but it's over on that side of the world in like
Sure.
Indonesia, uh the Philippines. No, the Philippines are not. It's over on the Australian, like northwest Australian, like Indian Ocean kind of side of
Okay.
things, is from what I understand. Um,
Okay.
and uh, Caledonia, New Caledonia, maybe.
Sure.
So either way, it's like a French settlement
Okay. That
over there in
sounds
those
familiar.
islands. And so the developers like speak French and English,
Okay.
but it's like this island adventure hopping thing, and a supposedly really well done uh, representation of that area. And so it's like really tropical and really bright and really cool. And
Okay.
it gives me Zelda vibes where you can climb and you can glide and stuff like that, but you can fucking like turn into the bird that's in the tree. Like you just
Oh,
like
damn,
spirit
dude.
swap with them, and now all of a sudden you're a bird.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, where I mean, it's kind of like Zelda, except for, you know, instead of the Ultra Hand stuff, you have the
sure.
ability to, I guess, morph. I'm sure there's a
Yeah,
better word for that, but
morph is a
you
great
can
way of
just
putting it.
become what you see. That
Right.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Are
So I'm actually
there
really
are
excited to
there
play it. I just don't fucking have
is
any
this
idea when I'm going to play it.
do you know what the goal is?
Mm-hmm.
Are there enemies? I mean, you're a little girl.
Yeah.
Are you
So
fighting stuff or are
my
you
understanding is there's not like a ton of enemies, that it is just really about exploring and trying to figure out what's going on, because it's something to the effect of
Oh,
like her
sure,
dad
okay.
got kidnapped or something like that. And so
You're just
she's trying to find.
trying to get some answers
Mm-hmm.
about something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. I literally couldn't even wrap my head around like what are you doing though? Like
Right.
you just like I'm a bird now. Yeah. You just-
Right. Yeah, I'm just a bird, just flying around, being cool. No, it got really
who
good
gave
reviews. It looks cool.
who gave Mr. Cheezel full uh full creative
Yeah, full
whatever
creative control over this game.
yeah who let him just make his game. I flew I had a dream that I flew into the water. I was a bird and I went into the water and I swam like a fish and it meant good things.
Yeah,
Just people be like, "What is this game?" I don't know, dude. Bright colors. I can turn into a bird. It's pretty gnarly.
it's pretty
Um,
cool.
yeah, that's
So I
crazy though.
bought that game. Like that game
I'm
was
intrigued.
actually like
Yeah.
yeah, that game was on sale and I've been following it for a while since it came out, since before it
Sure.
came out and I was like, fine, I'm fucking buying it.
Okay.
But then I have like
Yeah.
there's just a fucking shitload of demos and so I try to pick and choose and be choosy and I ended up downloading 4 demos on Steam anyway. One of them's a pirate game, which I'm pretty excited about. On Guard, like I want to play that. It looks pretty like adventurous sword fighting and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get
Sure.
into every like demo that I downloaded. It's just like time. I need fucking time, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get it. And this is where I'll jump into the personal stuff quick, is because I don't fucking know when I'm gonna play these things. I hope they're not time demos
Right.
where they're just gonna cancel out because we're on we're in the housing market right now
Oh, yep.
and
Yep.
it's eating up a shitload of time. Of course it is.
Sure.
Of course you
Yeah.
got to try to find things you like and you got to try to get your house ready and all this
Right.
other shit.
Yeah.
So it's a ton of work. Literally while we're doing that, I'm downloading demos. I just got an email while we're on the podcast. I've used up 75% of my data this month on my internet. I got gigs. I got like gigs and gigs, no, like a terabyte or something of data before
Damn.
my internet service provider tells me that I'm getting close to my limit and I might get charged for the next 50 gigs or
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because I've
That's
downloaded so many
gnarly.
fucking demos, dude.
That's crazy. So you're talking about just your internet?
Yeah,
You have a limit on how much
yeah.
stuff you can download?
Not
On
well. There's not a limit, but it's not like they cut our speed or anything like that. It's just that here's how much you get with your this much a month plan. And
Okay.
then anything after that, it's like $5 for another 100 gigabytes or something like that.
Huh.
So we'll just say
That's
we'll
crazy.
make it easy and we'll just say like I pay $50 a month for internet and I get like
Sure.
a terabyte of data
Yeah.
download on that connection.
That's crazy. Our internet is more of a you pay for the speed
Mm-hmm.
and then there's no limitations
And then there's no limit.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty
Yeah.
common. So I don't know
So
exactly why. I think it's one of those situations where one company's had enough experience of where people are running torrents and farming Bitcoin and other shit like that off of their connection
that
because their
makes
connections
sense.
are fast and steady and
Yeah,
reliable and
that makes
available in their
sense.
area.
Right. That
I-
makes total
It's
sense.
the only thing that I
Where
can
they're just
figure.
like, we need to start charging because these random servers they have running all day and night are just
Right.
slowing everybody else down. So we need to,
Right.
if we're gonna allow them to make our customers grumpy with slightly slower speeds, then we gotta make them fucking pay.
Right.
You trying to get that Bitcoin money? I'm like, you gonna get
Right.
taxed. You're gonna need a tax man.
That's right. You gotta
back
pay
to
the
the
tax
tax.
man.
Everybody gotta pay the tax man.
But we never hit it except for on days when except for on months when I'm like this, when I'm downloading games like
Yeah.
crazy. So
So
yeah, go ahead.
let me ask you, because you're talking new games and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you, or have you ever been a Diablo guy?
No. But I know
No.
a
Okay.
decent amount about Diablo. I mean, I know what's going
I
on.
just
You
look
can't
at
get
it
away
and
from it.
it looks cool, but
Have you
I
ever played?
also feel like that's no, because
Okay. Yeah,
I've
so I
never
thought.
really been one to play any of those style games,
Right.
but I've always thought that they look fun. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
I would like it a lot if I knew other people that played it. I don't
Right.
want to just log on and make random
Mm-hmm.
friends over the
Right.
internet to just be like, yeah, tell my wife, I actually got to hop in at like 7 o'clock tonight because I'm a sage and they totally need me. It's like,
Right,
or
right.
like a
Jonesing
mage or
for a
whatever.
69 is really needing a sage to
Yeah,
get in on this raid tonight, and
yeah, yeah.
he said he needs my help.
Listen, half of them think that they're gonna die, and I'm the necromancer. I'm the only one that can bring them back. I have to. If they die, then they're dead. Dead. I did hear that there's like a hardcore mode that when you die, you're dead.
No way.
That like you cannot respawn. That there's like a hardcore mode
Really?
where it's like you die once you're dead. Yeah,
Huh.
and that one. The reason I heard about it is because there's one gamer that completely lost his shit because he was playing this hardcore mode, put in a ton of time into this character, and then his character died during a loading screen.
How? What the
Like
fuck?
it must be one of those where your character kind of exists but like can't get hurt and whatever. It was like during some like barrier. But like whatever else I heard was um that guy was pissed because it died during the loading screen. Some people were saying it was garbage. And then I heard, like, again, not knowing anything about this,
Mm-hmm.
another gamer was just like, yeah, but what he was doing was stupid. He was asking for it, basically. Just like, oh, okay. So it sounded like they were saying like he was using this modifier or something, which was just like, well, is that so was
Oh,
he like fucking with the game and it killed him during a loading screen because he was kind of cheating?
right, right. It kind of picked
So
up on it
I don't know
during
enough about it, but I was just like, a a one and done thing. First off, sounds crazy. I don't know if I'd
especially in a
sign up
game
for
like
that.
that that's meant to be just played
I
for
would not.
basically ever.
Yeah, where it's like it would suck to die. I would never want to die. Like
Right,
I'm that kind of guy where I want to be able to say I never died. I'm
right,
this far in and I have not died yet. Like that would
right.
be cool to say, but at the same time, like if you did die, all of it's gone. You've put in all that time and effort and you died and now you just have to start over.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think I could do it. It would drive me
No.
nuts.
If you yeah, I mean,
Or
think
the
about
other
how much time we've put into Zelda already, right? Like, I think what'd you say? You're in like the 70, 80 range
I
probably?
think I'm in the 80 range, yeah, which I was telling you that I think sounds a little bit more than it is because I feel
Mhm.
like I I feel like if you compared my game to somebody else that's at 80 hours, they're way farther than I am. Like
Oh,
where
yeah.
I'm, that
Yeah.
kind of shit. Where a
Yeah.
lot of my game is like I play it when I can and then I set it down while it's still running, so it's counting it as I'm playing. Where I've only
Right.
really played it like 8 minutes out of this half hour. It's been sitting there, so
Sure.
it's stuff like that. But yeah, I
But haven't you
can't.
been adventuring a lot too? Like, because there's people who will kind
I
of just
have
beeline through it, and
I have been adventuring. Yeah,
okay.
dude. I tell you what. There was
Well, I
there
tell
was
you
a
what.
point. So that listen up. I tell you what. Here's what happened. Right, I got the game. I started playing it. I seen this little video that came out on the YouTubes. They said, check this out. If you got version 1.0 or version 1.1, you can do this glitch. You could take a couple of different things and you can make it so you can multiply things that is in your inventory. I said, well, that sounds pretty
Is
swell. And what I did, I thought to myself, I'm going to do this glitch for a couple of things. I'm not gonna all out cheat because I don't want to ruin the game. But it's if I could save myself a little bit of time, I'd be okay with that. But then what I did was I looked and it said version 1.2 it will not work on, and I already have version 1.2. So there was one point in time where I was not that far into the game, and I said to myself, I says, self, well, if you restarted it now, you'd be able to get to that version 1.0 and all of your glitches would work, but you lose all of the progress that you've already made. And I said, what do you want to do? And that, right there and then I said, we're gonna keep on playing. The glitches ain't that important, you know. You know what I'm saying? You just get out of it. Oh man, I don't. Sorry if anybody didn't like that. I said what one time, and then you
what?
said what, and then I
And the
became a
next thing you know,
Southern
yeah,
preacher, I think maybe.
for, for 10
A
minutes.
maybe some sort of a deacon, something along that line. Like I haven't made it to full preacher, but people are willing to
See, I
stop
didn't
by
even
and
know
listen
that
to me
wasn't a
here
full
speak of
preacher.
the Lord. I don't know. That's anybody
And
that
reaching for the
speaks
bottle in the
that
background.
Southern.
Clank.
Clink.
Oh, alcohol's evil.
Why don't you
Clank. Clank, clank. What's
alcohol?
that sound?
Alcohol is evil, but it is a sickness. Some people can't help it. Why don't you grab a seat, young buck, and I will we will rap about the Lord. I don't I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Anyways, yeah, but no,
but
for
yeah, no,
reals,
Zelda. The reason,
on yeah,
yeah,
take away all that garbage ass shit I was just doing. I did honestly contemplate at one point in time, like I was maybe like 16 hours in, and I'm like, damn, dude, I've already played 16 hours. I
right,
don't want to go back now
right,
to just be able to do this glitch because I all it is just being able to like duplicate some of your items where I'm like, I feel like it would save some time if I didn't have to go and
sure,
scavenge through these caves to find some of my stuff so I could just keep on the mission and keep on the side missions, just not having to do a lot of the whole I got to go explore to find some of this stuff because I know I need to make all these different dishes and I
right.
need to have health and be ready and stuff and I think it probably would have taken away a little bit, but at the same time, it was some of the stuff where I was just like, I just really don't want to have to in an in a point where I want to go and do this side mission. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have to be like, I can't tackle that yet. I got to go find more shit in the
Mm,
cave before I go do it, which
mm-hmm.
has turned out to be fine. Like I do appreciate the grind. I do have fun with that stuff. But
Okay,
no, in that 16 hours, I said, I'm not going back
right,
to this. So
right.
imagine if you put in like the full amount that we're at now, which is
Yeah,
nothing compared to some of these gamers who play it
who
like
were playing
day
like
in, day out or
Diablo that
stream.
started this?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. And I think he was a streamer.
So he's
So he's
playing
playing
10,
it all
8,
day and all night.
8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day. A
Yes.
fucking day.
Like like it's a
He's got
full-time
hundreds of
job
hours in
plus
by
some
the end of the
overtime.
week. This game's 7 days old, and he's
Exactly.
got hundreds of hours in. You know,
Yep.
and yeah,
And
you're
then
like,
when
I'm not
that's
trying to lose
over,
16 hours.
right.
Yeah,
And
it's fucking crazy.
I wonder how that would even work for streamers. Are they just watching him to be like, let's see him get back to that point? Or are you 3 weeks in and they want to see what it looks like when you're getting farther down the road when you're leveled up that high and all of a sudden you're starting over from scratch? Are they going to the next guy who hasn't died yet? Like
I don't know.
what's that all about?
Yeah,
Or
good
is it literally
point.
that gamble that you're playing with where you're just like, I'm going for the hardcore one? And if I make it to like 3 months and I haven't died, everybody's going to watch my stream because
People
now
are
it's
gonna
become a
watch.
spectacle. Will
Right.
he die
Yeah.
or won't he die?
Right.
And then I suppose in a big world, if there's people that are able, I have no idea what the game's like, but if there's people that are able to be bad guys, like how the South Park episode was, the one guy's
Oh yeah.
just running around murking everybody.
Yeah.
If that
Just
is that a
murdering these people who have
possibility?
huge accounts.
Does this guy just have a target on his head
I don't know.
where everybody's
I don't
just
know
like,
enough about Diablo.
we go find him in the world. I'm gonna murder him. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm very curious. Sorry, that was a whole rant
No,
on. I know it
but
was some games. I know you were talking about your other games. Did you have other games
no.
you were
You're
trying to?
like, so you're talking about the time invested, and that's the thing, and that is actually why I wanted to talk about Zelda again, is because of like the the amount of time is like I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't restart Zelda. I actually play
Never.
Zelda kind of similarly, where I know that I could save right outside this camp that I'm about to go raid,
Mm-hmm.
but I won't. I know where it saved last. It was back at that shrine that I just left.
Oh,
And then I'll
sure.
just go run up on that camp. It's a good jaunt. We'll say, it's anywhere from 30 to 2.5 minutes away from the last save point. And if I
Sure.
die there, I get fucking booted back all the way because in that 30
Right.
seconds to 2.5 minutes on the way over, I found this item and I cut down that tree and I, killed this enemy and I made this weapon. And like you do so much in that short amount of time. Now you got to fucking go
Yeah.
do it again. It's that I use that as a little bit of a motivation going into these camps of like, don't
Oh,
fucking die.
sure.
Then you have to go through all this shit
Don't
again.
die. Play it smart. You got all that stuff. You can't just see. I'm the opposite, where I'll run up in. I'm saving stuff because I know I just did a bunch of stuff, and sometimes too, like if people don't play, you get them fairies,
Yep.
and when you get knocked out, the fairy will automatically
Will
revive you.
automatically use. Yeah.
Sometimes I get knocked out twice, and it uses up 2 fairies, and then I'm just like, no, just fucking kill me. We'll do it again. Just murder me. I'm not wasting both
I'm not
those
wasting
fairies. It
2
was
fairies
stupid
on
for
this
you.
shit.
It was stupid for you to let me get hit twice. Just finish the job. I'll be back. So
So
yeah,
yeah,
sometimes I do stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah. And so Zelda eats up all my fucking time. That's the other thing. Is just like any free time I get, I'm fucking playing Zelda. I'm not trying to play the Street Fighter 6 demo. Sorry, Street Fighter 6, as much as I want to
True.
play you.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking gonna turn on the Switch and play that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking play that demo
I mean,
because I
dude, this
have
game is so big.
Zelda. It's so
Yeah.
big. Oh,
It's so big. It's
but before we go on
Sorry.
to like another Zelda hole here, speaking of like
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6, you could jump in and within play it for 20 minutes, and I'd be like, cool, I get the gist of it, I'm sure.
Oh hell yeah. Yep.
But I might want to go back and learn it, and all that other stuff that fighting games do. If they're good, they rope you in too. But
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, which is out already, had a demo before it came out. Apparently the demos, like I have the demo. Apparently it's 4
Yeah.
fucking hours long.
Damn, dude. That's a big demo.
Demo. I know, dude. Holy shit. And I've heard the game.
I mean,
I've listened to podcasts about the game, and it's good. It's big. It does
yeah.
have a lot of stuff to do. But
Sure.
4 hours, it's still like a 40 or 60 hour game, which is normal for a Final Fantasy. But 4 hours of that already is like, holy shit, dude, that's a lot to give away.
Yeah. Well, also, it's just like when you actually get the game, you're like, oh, I know what my next 4 hours is.
I don't know if it carries over, because that's been a thing that a lot of demos are doing now, is they do carryover.
Oh, sure. Hopefully it does. I mean, one of the coolest demos I ever played was that where it wasn't even really a demo. It was more of like a small mini game in itself, was the Metal Gear. Because that one was just like, they show you how to like, what you're doing. You take out your enemies, you catch some of them and stuff.
Oh.
And then,
yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Like in Metal Gear.
You're talking about Phantom Pain. That's the game before Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
They sold that. And it was a real game. They sold that. Sony.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Maybe I did buy it then. Maybe I did pay for it.
Maybe you bought it, but it also came out.
Sony
ended up buying the rights to put it on the monthly thing with PlayStation Plus. So you had PlayStation Plus, you may have gotten it. That's how I got it.
Okay, maybe that's how I got it then too.
But yeah, that was more than a demo, I would say. Like, they sold it.
Yeah, you could capture different people, and they had their different classes. And if you had that game, then you got those guys. And I remember that I think it was Hideo. I think you got Hideo on your squad because I think you caught him in that Ground Zero or whatever it was called, and then you had him on your team as like intel.
I don't know if I did that. He was like, now I kind of want to go back and do
intel. Yeah, I think he was like S plus intel or whatever. You had him on your squad. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
Dude, when I said member, you got horses? You
Oh,
got some good
yeah.
horse names.
Oh,
You got
no.
some.
I that's a long story, but why? Keep going.
Well, okay.
You get to name your
So
horse. There's no spoilers.
in 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 Breath of the Wild,
Yep.
do you ever get Zelda's horse?
Oh, I don't think so.
Did you ever see Gold Horse in Breath of the Wild?
No, there is a like master horse though to put it in a like
Oh,
to relate
okay.
it to like a
I don't
weapon,
know.
to the master sword.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, I don't think this is too big of a spoiler.
Nah, you could because if I'm not worried about
In
it, then other people
yeah,
shouldn't be because
in
I don't want to know shit about this
yeah,
game, but I'm like, nah, tell me.
yeah. So in this game, there's a side mission,
Yep.
and you have to go get Zelda's horse, and her horse is a golden horse,
Okay.
and it's not like a master horse. It's not doesn't have like the greatest stats. It's not like full everything. But I've been just naming everything, and you almost some of my creativity has been even forced to be more of like play on words unintentionally because they don't give you enough letters to play with.
Uh-huh.
So because it was gold, I was going to call it gold member just because I was like, whatever, what's gold?
Right.
And then I didn't have enough letters. So
Mm.
I spelt it MEMBA. So it's gold member.
Go member.
Gold member. That's the gold's horse name. And then I had the green hornet, but I can't remember what I named that one. I remember it for a little while. But did you know you can kill your horses?
Yeah.
I accidentally hit it with the sword, and then it died and dropped on the ground. And I'm like, oh no! And then it wasn't in the stable anymore. I'm like, oh, that horse is just dead. He's gone. It's
Yeah.
like a green. I got like a green one. And I was just like, called it the Green Hornet. And I thought I spelt it different with that one too.
Uh-huh.
And then there was this famous clip back in the day where there was a horse named Hoof Hearted.
Yep. Who
And
farted in the winter
the
season?
horse, yeah. Well, it's like running, and the guy's just fucking all jazzed up because it's coming, and he's like, "Hoof hearted on the outside, hoof hearted, hoof hearted, hoof hearted." He's just screaming, "Who farted?" So I was like, I want to name him Hoof Hearted, and then there wasn't enough letters
Characters
available, so
again.
I got rid of the F. I got rid of the H because I'm trying to make it sound like what it sounds like still. So now his name is Oof Hearted. So it's not
Who
hoof, it's
farted?
just oof.
Who
Whereas,
farted? Yeah, dude. I can't remember because I
yeah,
haven't stabled one yet in Tears of the Kingdom. That's a different story. But yeah, I was doing things like that in Breath of
sure.
the Wild.
You haven't stabled any?
No, but
Oh, I
that's a
was catching a whole bunch of them because I
oh,
just
I've
didn't
caught
know
a
what
lot
the
of
whole
horses.
because
I just
there was
haven't
a
put
whole
any in
bunch of
stables
different.
yet.
Oh, sure. There was a whole bunch of like, there's like a point system and you get stuff. So I've been trying to
Yeah,
figure out like what you all
I
get. So I've
know.
just been like stabling stuff.
Some
And then they're
person
like,
just
oh,
gave me
good
some
news. Like,
points. Like I
oh,
helped them out.
they
I
every
helped them
state.
out along the way. Like I was just out there and they were like fighting a goblin or something like that, and I was like,
Oh, and
"Guy's
he
taking
gave you
too
some
long."
like
And I
pony
whooped the
points?
goblin's ass, and they're like, "Here's some stable points," and I was like, "What?"
Damn.
Yeah.
I've helped out dudes and they've given me tickets to stay the night because they give you stable stays or whatever where you can sleep and it'll give you your health back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've gotten tickets, but I haven't gotten any points from
Yeah, I'm
anybody. But
certain this person gave me points and not a
I
night.
bet. I bet, dude. I've gotten all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
So the pony
this game's
points are
fucking
like
wild.
when I'm just like loading in points. I have like 3 mediocres.
Hmm.
That's their names: mediocre, mediocre one, mediocre two. I'm just gonna murk those bitches when I get some good horses. Because now that I know that I can, because they're like, oh, like one of the point rewards, they're just like, you've gained another stable space, and I'm like, there's a limit. I've just been throwing these things in here, so I guess the
Haven't hit it
mediocres are
yet,
dead.
so fuck it.
can I just release them or do I have to kill them? So I guess it's your guys' call. Because if you're only giving me so many stable spaces, you're kind of, forcing my hand here.
It's on. This is on you. This is on you.
But yeah, I haven't caught any of the real cool horses. Just that Zelda one was in the storyline, and then
yeah,
by some dumb luck, like the black horse that I caught like right away has been like my best one. Like his stats are dope, and every other one I caught, I'm just like,
dude,
really?
I
Like,
just had that happen to me. I didn't. I went to the one fucking stable that I was like sure was a stable, and I rode that sumbitch all the way there, and it goes, no, we're not ready for horses yet, and I'm like, God damn it.
What?
Yeah, but I've been to a stable and all this other, again, it's a long story. I don't want to go down it.
That's crazy. I don't get why I wouldn't let you. I didn't know that.
I know. So we'll talk about that one after the podcast. Before we end the topic,
Sure.
I want to bring up Nintendo's Direct. Like everybody did a presentation.
Yeah.
They were fucking great, right? We talked about PlayStation and their like tablet thing, and okay, everybody did really cool. But here's why I wanted to bring up the Switch, dude. I think they're getting ready to sunset the Switch. I'm not saying it's going to be like a new one in 2024, but I'm not saying there's going to be a new one this year in 2023, but I think we're going to see like the Switch 2 or Switch Ultra HD or something like that. I think we're going to get a new, more powerful Switch in 2024, like holiday 2024. And here's why. Their presentation was fucking nuts. Some of this we knew about, some of it we didn't, but all in all, here's what Nintendo came out with. A new Super Mario Brothers game, a new 2D one.
Okay.
It's called Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Sure.
So a new original one. Pikmin 4. Pikmin's big for them. We probably don't give a shit. I know I don't.
No, I don't. I know, like, I tried to play it when I was younger, and I, at least then, immediately gave up on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, a whole bunch of guys that you, like, control or some shit, whatever.
Whatever.
I'm done with it. Like,
right, exactly. I believe the last Mario 8 Mario Kart 8 booster pack is coming out, so I think the last of the DLC is about to drop here.
Okay.
A new Detective Pikachu game.
Oh, okay.
A Peach game is coming out.
Peaches.
And they remade the Luigi's Mansion game from GameCube.
Okay.
Because Luigi's Mansion 3 came out on Switch as a brand new game a few years ago. And it did really well. And I don't think they have Luigi's Mansion 4 ready, but I think it's close. And that's going to be one of the like launch games on the new system.
Sure. What did you say the Peaches one was? Is that 2D or?
They pretty much just announced like they're making a Peach game. That's it.
Okay.
Just stay tuned and there's going to be a Peach game.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's just such a hammer of a
like,
lineup coming up here. And this is all like in 23.
Sure.
These are like all dropping this year still.
If they make it anything like the movie, I mean, that'd be cool. Where she's got like a course and she's like a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
And she got a motorcycle and shit. Like, hell yeah, dude, I'd sign up for that. Where she's like, if you could put it all together, like it's a whole different type of Mario game where she's able to use her motorcycle from Mario Kart and
that would
all
be
her
fun.
other skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you could just be like, it's almost kind of like Zelda-ish. Oh, could you imagine that? Like a Zelda-ish style game just running around in the Nintendo world that was presented to us in the movie.
The movie? That'd be
as Peach.
Pretty wild.
That'd be pretty dope.
That'd be
just
pretty
run. You
wild.
can go down. You're finding all the different tunnels and
that'd be fucking crazy.
Just going down. Yeah, and down.
I'm thinking like a more, because I played a lot of these independent games lately. Like,
Yeah.
I play a lot of indie games, I should just say. Switch has really made me play a lot of indie games.
Sure.
And I'm thinking of something
Sure.
like, well, I could even compare to not a indie game, but like Metroid, or like there's a lot of these ninja
Mm,
2D ninja games that are like 2D pixel ninja games. Just
okay.
almost more parkoury, where
Sure.
she was so fast in the movie. She just had this
Oh,
agility
sure.
to her where,
Yeah.
maybe she can jump off walls in a different way, or she can climb up the wall a
Okay.
little way. Like, if you jump onto the wall, she doesn't stick, but she can run up a little bit. So she's got not a
Sure.
double jump, but like a stick and crawl kind of situation. And then you could kind of
Yeah.
backflip off of that and still have her
Yeah.
dressmaker float. So you have that like
Oh yeah.
momentary slow coming down,
Right.
like in my head. The
Like the glider
slide,
in Zelda.
how she
Oh,
slides in the movie. She running and goes like,
yeah. Yeah. Right. Yep.
because she slides
Yeah,
way
dude.
lower than Mario does. If you think about it, in the Mario games, you can run fast and
Oh,
slide just
sure.
by crouching.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You just balls up.
Right. But if she got
Yeah.
like
And
flat,
she does like a legit like baseball slide.
right,
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That would be cool.
it'd be fun.
Hey, speaking of Mario, I don't know if I told you this or if you know this already, but we have the new, it's such a long title, the new Super Mario Bros.
Wii
Wii
U
U
Deluxe.
Deluxe. Yes, I can call that. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
so we have that game. Did you know that there's so Beckett, my son,
Yep.
5 years old, he can play with us because there's you have
Yeah.
your two main characters,
Yep.
I believe, where it's Mario and Luigi. Then you have Toadette, who can
Okay.
get power-ups to turn into Peach.
Oh.
So that's like the
Okay.
easy version,
Okay.
where because you become Peach and Peach is just like way better.
Yeah.
Or there's like this little like burglar looking dude who's got like a sack over his shoulder. I don't even know what his name is. That guy is super easy mode, where it's like literally designed for a little kid,
Yeah.
because
I've heard
he
about
can
this,
run
but not
and
enough.
jump and he can clear the obstacles. He cannot be touched by bad guys. The bad guys don't hit him. He's just like kind of running in the background, and he has to jump over the gaps and he has to climb the stuff, but he has to worry not
He just has to
about
platform,
any of the
and that's it.
enemies. Exactly. It's just that's all
That's
it
so
is.
cool. I heard about that. They did something like that, so that way you could do
Yeah.
exactly what you guys are doing. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
So me and Shannon can play the game legit,
Uh-huh.
and then he can just run in the
And
background
he can
basically.
join you.
Yep.
Sick, dude.
Yep. Yeah, because otherwise they're just like, oh, you got to jump over him, and then they just run right into it.
Right. Yep.
And you're just like, just told you. And he's just like, I did it. You didn't,
But
but
you
now you don't have to
didn't.
have that. You don't have to have those like weird, awkward. Just like, I get your 5,
Right.
but you're doing it all wrong, and that's fine.
And that's okay. Right.
But I can't tell you anything else. And now I just have to be like, jump over that gap, and then when he falls, it just be like, try it again.
Try it again.
Yeah, dude.
All right, dude. Let's wrap up this topic quick, because we're gonna talk about Zelda a little bit off, and I want to talk about that game, because the new
Yeah,
Super Mario Brothers Wonder is that 2D side scrolling. And they really sold it as a
sure.
one player, but it looks like it has multiplayer. And yeah, anyways, I'm excited about it. So yeah, let's just wrap this up really quick here. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, please, over on YouTube at Real AF TV. Remember, real like fish and reel. Leave a comment. Go to realaf.tv/contact if you're into the idea of PayPal or a Venmo account where you can just shoot us a couple bucks. I said I would touch on this earlier in the podcast, so if you're listening to the full thing, I will touch it on now. Money. How we're not here to beg and ask for money, but I just want to sell of like, time is money. We said that, and any little bit helps. It's it's a motivator, because when you see it come in, you're like, hell yeah, people are listening and they care, and like it really motivates me to keep going. On top of our motivation, our friendship, like you said earlier, Tim, is like on top of our friendship and ability to just hold conversation. It's like now you put a little bit of dollar value on that, and you go, okay, nice. But also, when you get down to it, the production gear, right? Like,
Right.
Tim's had to get a new camera, boom arms to get the microphones off the table, things like this,
Yeah.
that
Like
that
2 episodes
all
ago,
helps us.
I was going blind because my monitor went out halfway through the podcast, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, I
right.
can't see you.
Right. Need a new monitor, and
Yep.
stuff like that. And the only way that we can currently, get that sort of stuff is to work our normal jobs. And sometimes
True.
that requires overtime, and overtime takes away from the time of doing the podcast, or, like
Yes.
researching for the podcast and other things
True.
like that, because, well, we're working.
Yep.
So that's
Exactly.
how, like, that's the direct correlation that sometimes I think people miss out. But by no
Right.
means am I trying to beg and ask for money, because if you can't afford to throw a couple dollars our way, but you enjoy it enough to throw a couple dollars our way, I'd just like to hear ideas of how you would like to, contribute a few dollars towards Real AF TV in general.
Yeah. Sure.
But the freebie way, man, just like, subscribe and reviews. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
harp on anything else, but that would be the easy way to support us for free, and we would be fucking totally happy with that, because we're happy with what we're
Hell
doing anyway.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So, all right, that's it, man. I'm gonna just wrap it up there, and we are gonna go talk about some more Zelda, because I want to tell let's go back to Super Mario Brothers Deluxe Wii U Edition.
Yeah.